This is neither a sponsored video or any kind of attempt to make a comparison between the Epidemic sound and the Artlist. I just want to clarify one thing with licensing, because it seems that despite the rules being clearly written down in their terms and conditions, there's a lot of comments under those comparison videos suggesting that if you cancel your subscription, you're no longer allowed to use that music in the videos you already published or in the future. I had this weird conversation with one of my friends the other day about me using both Artlist and Epidemic sound at the same time, and he was a little bit concerned that some of the client work I do might not be covered after I'll cancel my subscription. So let's get into that, but I really need a coffee now because it's 7 a.m. and that's early for me. I'm not one of the 5 a.m. guys, so just bear with me. To be fair, both services are pretty epic. There's two small differences between them, so I'll go over them really quickly in a second, just as well as the licensing problem that's existing for no real reason. Alright, well, genuine question first. Does anyone outside YouTube go through all this ritual of making a coffee for an hour to get exactly the same drink that will give you exactly the same shits half an hour after you drink it? Just stay lazy, man. So the big difference between these two is the fact that on Epidemic Sound you can download separate stems of every single track, which means you can adjust them as you go to emphasize certain points in your footage. Whereas with Artlist, you only got an option to download either an MP3 or WAV file, which for most people isn't really a deal breaker, but I feel it's actually missing from a really good otherwise service. The other thing is that Artlist became pretty expensive lately, and I'm sure if you're gonna watch this in a few years or a few even months even, they will probably alter their pricing strategy again. But as it stands right now, the Epidemic sound kind of works out around £16 a month, and with Artlist you've only got an option to pay monthly if you use the social tier, but if you want to do any professional work, or if you've got more than one channel, or you want to use their stock and templates, which is the main reason I actually signed up to Artlist in the first place, you do have to shell out the whole amount up front. Now, I said this is not sponsored, but I've dropped a cheeky link below that will give you 2 months extra if you sign up for the whole year, and will give you 2 months as well. So if you're signing up anyway, it will be greatly appreciated. I'm using both simultaneously because the Epidemic sound gives me that option to use just the certain parts of their music, whereas with Artlist, I'm stuck with the full MP3 file. The other thing are the plugins you get with the Artlist, and I found them pretty useful, especially when you use a lot of them throughout years and you pay for each and one of them. I found myself spending hundreds of dollars on plugins that I've used once. And with Artlist, they're all included in subscription, and you can just download them once and use them in whole perpetuity. Now on to the licensing, and I'm pretty surprised that we need to discuss this. Terms and conditions of both services are very clear. If you've used the track during your subscription period on any of the YouTube videos or your client work, and you publish that during your subscription period, you're covered forever. You can use that video to be monetized forever. However, if you've downloaded a track that you haven't used during your subscription period, you cancel that subscription and then you use that music, well, you're not allowed to do that. It is going to get flagged up. Now, some people claim it is a bit of a scam that you can't use the music you downloaded during your subscription period. So just to clarify, we're not buying rights to use that music for the whole eternity. You're buying a right to use that music during your subscription period, because if you ever try to purchase music as a whole track for your commercial project, you know that it's considerably more expensive. We're talking thousands of dollars per track, whereas this is kind of affordable and it seems like a fair deal. It's pretty cool that we're living in times where we don't have to pay per track and we don't have to spend thousands of bucks per project, because for most of commercial work, it wouldn't be worth it. And if you're just doing YouTube videos, holy shit, you'll be surprised how quickly that would amount up. Now, on the fairness of not being able to use the tracks after your subscription finished, think about it. We would all just log in, download the whole library, and then just stop our subscription. Like, how do you think that would work in the long run? I even reached out to Artlist, even though it felt like a very goofy thing to do, because it is black and white on their website, which he actually highlighted in the conversation too, but This is just for the naysayers, and oh my god, my video got demonetized or flagged up. It probably got demonetized for different reasons, mate. So this is like a double black and white situation here. It's not even like up for debate, I hope. And I really hope this helped to clear the confusion a little bit. I have no idea how to end these videos ever, so